Okay, welcome into the final stages of sets. I went hard into the tree bar and brought down every single one of these nodes. There are a few nodes in this series from clean tree all the way through to replace paths that I just haven't got my head clearly around yet, and I don't have any test samples that I can show you. And that's trim tree, unflattened tree, pretty straightforward. And twine, I certainly don't have an example to show you right now. They're not too hard to figure out, and I will. I've got to pull in my little params tool here just to recall all these names. It's a stream filter of sorts. Not sure why that didn't come in to the stream gate, but it's a stream gate, and that's a stream filter, I think that is. And then also I'm lacking, I guess I could just hover a tree item and the scales of justice path compare. I've got to figure those one out for you, and I leave them in red. I am not going to be going over all of these. I'm going to turn this turntable off. I'm going to move out of that insane what's been generated. If you look at the type of data that's been generated from all these files, it's pretty darn complex through the samples, and I do not take credit for them. I want to thank first and foremost, let me shoot this up here. First and foremost, I want to say exactly what the script says if I put it on GridHub. It's dealing with what ModeLab was bringing out as data trees for intermediate levels, fancy wires, view treeing, param viewers, data lab, and if I said Facebook is out of date. I'm not sure what I meant when I started all that. I did write down processing data, trees kick ass, add-ons, Weaver, Bird, Python, and Grasshopper, Kangaroo could be fun, but all credit to these scripts. Doesn't go, I mean, it's not directly from anything, goes to ModeLabs online, because basically they're the notes I took from watching the intermediate and advanced tutorials. Check out those series from the start. I will be going through it fully again, and you'll see there is a little bit of orange nodes in this system. And the reason is, if I decide to put this on GitHub, I've got to get this all synced if there's something that has to come in. So obviously a surface has to come in that has to be surface edited, soft surface edited first. There may be another one that demands a little bit, probably the similar thing, just needs a curve for that script to run right through. Actually, it looks like the script is doing actually pretty well. Anyway, this is all script. What's missing from here? Yeah, the curves that I could do this nice mesh, and it's a terrain of my son's face. And I actually get into here, and I've got a little bit to figure out in my of my data here to see what's processing and coming through. I might have something formatting wrong in my path mapper. But that said, this is going to be a ton of information. This file, when I decide to share it, I am, first of all, going to go through it all one by one and look at every single thing in here that actually relies on one of the nodes in the sets trees file that actually demands something out of this tree file. And even though I missed a few, like the entwine, I definitely could incorporate a few others. This one's using clean tree, and I'll go over that. And I actually imported from a past list to make that work, a tree. And like I said, whenever I make something internalized, then I'll externalize it and see what it is. And I definitely needed some nodes in my tree in order to clean it. So I've set myself up so I can do these things. What you will notice are these little jumps. And that is the real key to wanting to get a hold of this file. Because what I've done is not only gone through sample after sample after sample after sample, every single script in here, especially the making of this long script out of the last stages of the intermediate level ModeLabs for data trees, is you'll see here what I've done. And this is really what you want, is you can go here. And even though they've come together for some reason, I'm not sure why they have jumped together. I guess they do that. You can go here to clean trees, click it, and boom, see the exact strip of where that clean tree is in use. Okay? Then go back to your center, and then boom, click on this one, and go see where the clean tree was used again. And that gets pretty interesting as you go down and you think about flattening trees, same thing, grafting trees, pruning trees. You'll see, obviously, for this one as we pull it out, and I kind of hoped it would stay like this, but it looks like they compiled, probably because of what I did. That was my mistake. I actually think I had centered everything, which was a foolish thing to do, because now all my data, if I was using prune tree, you've got to pull it out. There was 2 prune trees. This one, obviously, there was more in there, so I'm stuck kind of pulling out my data, getting it back in line so I can see them all. I shouldn't have done that. I should have left this before I centered it. Grab these guys. I apologize for this, but like I said, I'm first looking at it now. I'll grab those three, grab these guys, and oh, I'm gonna have to go back and order it for you. Sorry, I'll hit. All right, problem fixed. Sorry about that. So we go in the graph tree. We go into the tree. Let me grab my awesome glasses again. Didn't come down. There we go. You're getting all of the bifocal tools, your simplified tree, your tree statistics, which is pretty awesome. So you can jump down here and boom, you've got your tree statistics in use. One of the coolest nodes I've ever seen. If you've gotten into use of deconstructing breps and boundary surf, it may start to make sense as you think about objects you've made and then having to take them apart to get back to the geometries. Explode trees in there as well. Flip matrix is used everywhere. So obviously you're going to see, I didn't put in merges because merges were everywhere as well. I tried to find the obscure ones, and you can see the obscure ones just by the lack of use. So match trees used once. Path mapper is an interesting one. That's the one I'm having a little bit of trouble with, these two path mappers, making them work. I think there's something to do with flattening, which I'm trying not to do. They encourage you to not use in the sets, in Mode Labs, they're really encouraging you not to use flattened tree at all. And I believe not Path Mapper, they don't want you to be using not Path Compares Relative Path, something with, could be Path, no, it wasn't Path Mapper. It was something else they were encouraging you not to use. Shifting paths. Do not use shift paths if you can help it, or flatten tree, and actually try and figure out how to move throughout your data trees in another way. So that's something interesting. We're already at 7 minutes. But you can see there's shifting paths, there's split tree. Now the really cool ones that do some amazing thing in here are the relative items and the relative item and relative items. And what they end up doing to data and geometries is absolutely amazing. And you end up writing in your offsets in this kind of fashion, which is similar to the path mapper tool in a sense that you got to go deeper into it. I've got to go through the set again to really understand it. These scripts definitely work. I'm not sharing them with everybody. It would take too long, but if I do get them all figured out working, I'll put them up on GitHub with credit to Mode Labs. You can definitely walk through the tutorials yourself. They take a few hours to do and generate your own scripts. So I'm hoping that people realize the complexity of the job I'm trying to get ahead before I go into vectors. If I can get my maths and sets, really my head around almost every detail about them, my hope is, here's Deconstruct, and I thought with Deconstruct there was a construct, and there was. So you've got 3 of these, I think, that go to construct, and I think the other 5 go to deconstruct. I could be wrong with that, but we'll just have to take a little peek and see what happens. It looks like they were on separate. Looks like I've got 1 or 2 confused. So if I click that one and zoom over, I'm looking at a deconstruct, which is not cool. So I'm going to bring that one over here, and that might fix that box. Looks like I've got my deconstruct. Anyway, we'll figure it out. There's the deconstruct. These are the ones I want. There's a deconstruct. That is a deconstruct. That is a construct. That is the construct. So there's 2 construct and 3 deconstruct. So that should make sense of that. Apologize again for that. Trying to use, this is not what you use this tool for, but I thought for a file I could share with people, it might actually make sense. And I'm trying to frame it up a little bit, and I'll keep saving it as that. I hope when I go to save, I don't run into an issue. Sorry. What the heck? Oh well. Save document and save document as, yeah, basically getting in here, saving as my sets too. Yes. All right. And then replacing items is another one. So I kind of stretched that out a little long. But the data's out there online. You're seeing what's going on. Pretty cool. Replace paths is another one. I don't use it much, but it comes into helps with the shift paths. This pattern of what's developing here, this last one is just insane. As I go through it, I deleted a lot. But this last kind of pattern is pretty cool to try and figure out. And I'm just going to pop that into a group. And this is nothing special, but just try to get it organized a little bit. Like I said, when I get these all figured out, 2 more algorithms here as well. As soon as I get that all up and running pretty nicely, I'll definitely have examples of it going over independently, but I wanted to thank the people that really made that possible. All right. Looks like I had to go forward and back a few times, and I'll try and figure out those last few nodes for you. So thanks for listening to my rambling. You know what I'm kind of setting my sights on doing. I hope I can be a help to anybody who wants to jump into this, but it comes with heavy study and hard study of mode labs and going in hard to what that actually is. Go into these two sites online, just type in mode labs. Make sure you check out the intermediate and the advanced tutorials. Thanks for watching.